Welcome to yet again a bright, beautiful Wednesday morning. It is 8 a.m. I hope that you are just tuned in and happy and ready for your day and continuing with your week. My name is John Corey and it is the family talk show right here. We're continuing the conversation with Pastor Henry Kibirige from Christ Heart Church in Mukono, where the main branch is, of course, other branches all over the country. And I hope that you did enjoy last week's conversation, because we continue the conversation. We talk about marriage because he's a marriage counselor and he's a pastor who speaks to parents, and we're going to be speaking to parents today about raising godly children this morning on the Family Talk Show.
Thank you so much, John. By the way, I'm also the CEO of Sophos Consult Limited. Sophos Consult is an HR consultancy firm which helps organizations to achieve their objectives.
So you recruit?
Yes, we recruit. But also, Sophos Consult also deals in family issues. People who want to get married, people who want to have marriage counseling. We do marriage counseling, we do premarital counseling, we help people to wed, all those things. So that's what I do. But yes, and we thank you, our viewers, for tuning in this morning. And tuning in to Family TV is actually a step forward to preparing yourself for a happy and successful family. Yes.
So let's talk about raising godly children.
Yes.
I love these languages in the church. You say you're godly, you're spirit filled, you're what? What does it mean to be godly? Before we even talk about raising such people,
that's a very good question. I don't know whether I can break it down all together. But what I can say about being a godly person is about being God fearing. Okay.
So God fearing is praying, you go to church.
God fearing, having a sense and a belief that there is a God whom I have, who created me, who's concerned about my life. And I can't live without him, and I worship him and honor him in everything I do. So, a godly person is a person who has a consciousness that there is God, and believing in that God, and following the word that God said that we should follow.
Okay, so godly is you obey God, however I said, you believe and you obey,
and you are conscious of that God and you follow that God. Yes.
Okay, so how do we raise godly children?
Raising godly children, first of all, that emanates from the background of you parents also being godly.
Okay.
I have seen so many parents
to abuse parents
who wants to raise up godly children,
but they are not godly themselves.
For them, they are not. They don't even want to come to near God or anywhere God. They want to send children to church, and for them they never step.
They go drop in Sunday school and then they come back.
And then they
come back and pick the children.
Or they even give the children to maids or whoever.
Church. They even give off authority.
Yes. So they want to raise godly children, but for them. And I want to appeal to parents, including myself, that our children are not only going to do what we tell them. Our children are easily going to do what they see us, the parents, do.
Okay. So when you drop the child at school, at Sunday school, they will get out because they know that is not here anyway.
That is not here anyway. You know?
And
they need to run from Sunday school and they find daddy in the main service. Still there.
If they get challenges.
Or they want to eat a sweet, or they have fallen, or someone has beaten them.
Or the officer has gotten lost, they want to come and pick another.
Yes. And they see you also. They see you going to church. They see you practicing godly practices. Of helping the poor. Of treating people good. Of not doing certain things that God says we shouldn't.
Abusing people.
Especially when we are driving.
Terrible.
You understand? When I was coming rushing to this TV show, I stopped for a border. I always sympathize with the border. So I stopped and I told him, okay, you cross.
Yes.
And for him, as he was crossing, was carrying a lady at the back. Then the lady, I think she thought of her, I had abused the brother, I don't know. I saw her telling me, no, she's like implying,
yeah.
But the person should say, I have stopped that they should cross.
Yes.
You understand? Now, I could have lowered my window and I also abused. But now, knowing that I don't have to do that.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know? So there are things that we have, our children, that they have to see us, they have to catch us doing.
Okay.
And there are things we must make sure our children don't catch us doing them. Okay. Because however much you will tell them don't do that, if dad is doing it, if mom is doing it, chances are, it's not automatic that children will do it, but chances are children will do it.
Because I can imagine the people, especially those who are exposed to alcohol at a young age, I mean, it's in the fridge.
It's in the fridge.
So they'll just go and pick because
they see daddy drinking.
Daddy enjoys it anyway, so it should be enjoyable.
And if daddy is doing it, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
And when mommy is complaining, making noise, you say, but daddy enjoys it.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily, and okay, I don't want to go there because sometimes Bible talks about drinking. It doesn't talk about, it discourages drunkenness. You understand? But I've seen challenges where people say, okay, but Paul talked about drinking for my digestion and for my, but he didn't say get drunk. It is a sip, it's a quarter glass, and I've seen sicknesses where doctors recommend a sip of wine,
especially cancer,
and a few other things. So some of these things sometimes we take them to the extreme, and we fail to balance.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So there are things your children should not catch you doing. They should not catch you abusing your neighbor, gossiping about your neighbor. So raising godly children starts with us, parents.
Okay.
And then 2, we must also encourage our children to know about God.
How do you do that? Because you see, at home, we're busy, and we live in a world where you come back home, you're tired, you have little time for the child, if any.
Yes, you might not have the time.
And it
is understandable because not all of us do jobs of 8 to 5.
Yeah.
There are those who do jobs of 8 to midnight.
Exactly.
There are those who do up country.
And there are those who do just night even. Exactly. There are those who do night. So when the children are at home, the parents are away.
Parents are away. And even those who do night, they find again something else to do during day. To make the ends meet. Yes, we do understand that, and we do appreciate such parents.
So how does such a parent do it? Because that feels like you're saying they need time with the child.
Okay, the little time you make, and I've always said this, not only to the children, even to your spouse. Someone must know that when daddy is around, whether it is 1 hour a week, I can spend that 1 hour with my dad.
Okay. Quality time.
You understand? Let the children know that they can get when he's around.
Yes. He's
when
accessible.
When man is around.
He's not on the laptop, he's accessible to.
He can give me time.
Yes. Okay.
We can talk.
Okay.
I can run to him.
Okay.
I can give him a call. You understand? So now raising godly children, it starts with us, but also allowing children to know God. You can buy them Christian books. You can allow them to have access to Christian TV channels.
And when do they read them? When those things are boring. Christian things.
They are boring if they are of adult nature.
Christian movies are boring. They have Jesus only.
Yes.
Christian, even these shows are boring. They're talking about parents.
Yes. So, but there is a way they can still have a small dose of. The scripture is very clear that whatever you teach a child when they are still young,
they'll grow up in it.
Even when they grow up,
they'll never depart.
Now it doesn't have to be 100%.
Okay.
It can be 5%. As time grows, you increase to 8%. You increase to 15%.
Have you tried to buy a children's Bible? The normal Bibles are 20k, 30k.
I have
children's
bought.
Bible.
I'm glad you have asked that question. I bought that Bible during COVID time. During when we were in the lockdown.
Yeah.
I went to the Bible house. I bought 4 Bibles.
You are a rich man. And let me tell you,
that money, I as I was going back home, I said, God, this should better be an investment in your kingdom and also in my children.
Yeah.
Because we're in hard times.
Yes.
But I felt that I could not read the Bible alone. I needed to read the Bible with my children.
Yeah.
You understand? And time came when I would be tired and they said, Daddy, time for reading the Bible.
Yes, it's Bible story time, yeah.
Bible time.
Yeah.
Time.
How do you interest children in reading the Bible? Because that's a complex in there.
We just make it look like a complex. But if they can read other things, the challenge is developing a reading culture.
Okay.
And also interesting these children, because when you allow your children to learn how to love God and know about Him, and they now know that they can only know about this God more through this Bible, they will want to know about Him. Especially if they see what that God you are trying to show them, what He's doing in your life.
Okay. So then it goes also back to the parent. The parent has to manifest a relationship with God, so the child has to love, to enjoy, to associate with God. That is God, because that is God is doing work in his life. Yeah. Okay.
But I've also seen children loving God, much as the parents are ungodly, but they have discovered this God can actually make their parents better parents. Okay. And you see children coming to church, praying to God to change to change mommy, to create a good environment at home.
But that's many
of
us, even me.
It can work whichever way. And I want parents to know, because children are gifts from God, God will always look for those children. And I cannot tell you that for us we now know God because our parents
were so godly.
No.
Your pastors were so your pastor.
Let me tell you, my friend, wherever you are, that child, God will find. And by the way, incidentally, so many children of godly people, they don't necessarily start with God. Some of them, by the time they grow up, they don't want
to do with God. Problems bring them back to Christ.
But because these are God's children, He will always look for them. They might be where they are now old, because to God, He doesn't have fathers and uncles and grandparents. Even your grandmother who is 90 years or 120
is a child of God.
Is a child of God.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So for us, we limit our children to God, because when they are still in the state of calling them children. Even us, at our age of 90, 110, we are still God's children, and He's still looking out for us, and He's still looking for us, and He's still providing and feeding and protecting us. So those children are God's children.
Wonderful. Let's go in for a very short break. This is a deep conversation. Last week we were talking about marriage, we were laughing, but now it's a deep conversation. I hope that you're picking a few pointers. If you don't have a notebook and pen, carry it, bring it to the TV. Let's go in for a very short break. Don't touch your dial. We appreciate you for keeping it right here on the Family Talk Show on Family TV, where we enrich lives. My name is John Kore, still having this conversation with Pastor Henry Kibirige, who is from Christ Heart Church. And today we're talking about raising godly children, and we had come from what godly means, how we should raise our children, what kind of time, what kind of books, what kind of, And I thought to myself, there's something that pastors and church people tell us. Fellowship is a wonderful thing. Fellowship is a brilliant thing. Can that be done at home?
Actually, fellowship or church begins at home.
Okay.
And that's why some of us sometimes, yes, COVID came, but I think we realized what we have always been running away from.
Yeah.
That church starts from home.
So you're talking about altars now?
Family altar.
Okay.
Family time. Family Bible reading time, family meditation time. As a family, do you pray? Do you talk about God?
Okay.
And prayer, people have made prayer to look like it is something so sophisticated. You can even just be having breakfast.
And you say, Lord.
And you talk about God, and you share about God.
Yeah.
This morning, my daughter came to me, and she came back from school. She was sick. And then I was expecting her to go to school on Monday, to go back to school. And then she walks to me and she's still weak. And I just held her in my arms and I said a prayer. Understand?
Yeah.
What am I showing my girl is that before we even think about the doctor, it's God first.
God is the
And I laid hands on her. And I prayed for her and I said,
but it's easy for you because you're a pastor. I can imagine.
Exactly. Now, you might think it is easy for me. But any parent who can pay school fees, who can bring food at home,
who cares for their child,
you can also simply say, God, help my child to be better. That is still prayer.
That's a prayer, So it doesn't need to be in particular times.
It is not
simple
it
stuff.
Is not. Okay. Whatever word that comes from the word of a parent concerning a child,
God
is a prayer. That's why parents must be very careful what comes out of their mouth to their children. Because that is where parents also curse their children. That's where parents say things that derail their children. You understand? So as a parent, discipline yourself that whenever you are speaking about your children, speak positive things. Speak good things. Every good thing you say to your child, that is the blessing that you're giving to your child.
And you're imparting.
That blessing is not only carried by pastors. That blessing is carried by every parent that God has blessed under the heaven.
And when they see the parent pray, even them, next time they have a challenge, they will pray.
They will pray. So we are mandated. And because I am not, God did not give me the ability to produce children for everyone. That means whoever gave ability to produce a child also gave you ability to pray and bless your children. So please don't abdicate this role or this responsibility.
The pastors,
the teachers, to the mothers.
And
let me speak to the fathers specifically. Fathers, I want you to know the reason why children always talk about mommy, it is because mommy is the one who is always there.
Mommy prays,
mommy
hugs,
mommy visits school, mommy does what? Whatever you see your wife or the mother of your children is doing to the children, do it double.
But that is paying. Isn't that like compensating?
That is why. That is why when children grow up, daddies have become weak. They are now sick in hospital. You get a call. Dad is sick. You want to get details. What is he suffering from?
Monday guy. Today is Wednesday.
When the call comes, mom is sick.
Yes.
Where? It means
where?
It means running.
Yes. For rescue,
Because that is what also mommy used to do.
Yes, mommy used to run to the
even at work, much as women are working, if they call any woman here that your child is sick, you don't even see where she has passed.
And we shall even understand it.
And we will understand.
Bosses, actually, we will say, please.
Oh, madam,
please go.
There are times when I have driven mothers back home. I was head of HR. And the lady walks into my office. And she has come for permission.
Yes.
And I don't have to give permission. I actually get out of office
and drive
her back home.
Because you know she doesn't have
her to the hospital to treat her child. Why? Because I know that is the only thing I can do to this woman. Let that now translate into fathers. That fathers, that the world sees fathers running from office.
I need a boss like you.
To go and take children to school, or take children to hospital, or play with the children. If it is speak day, if it is parents' day, if it is sports day, if it is class day, you call office and say, you know what, this morning I might come in late because I have passed my son's school to check his grades in school. Let fathers also do this. Even when we don't teach our children prayer, even when we fail to read them because we don't have it, if your son sees you loving them, being them,
fellowshipping
with them, it will not be hard for them to understand God.
Because anyway, the Bible says
because sometimes children fail to understand God when they see the suffering around them. They say, really?
But God can't be fair.
How can God allow this? You understand? So as fathers,
we need to be the image of God in the family.
There is no excuse for letting the mother be the one to visit kids at school.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice, but even you go.
You go.
Yeah.
Now there are those who say, but Charlie, you walk to school.
Yeah.
Go be there. Okay, they separated. There are also those cases. They separated.
Show up at least.
You show up.
Yeah.
Come with your pancakes or popcorn.
Whatever little, yeah.
One time I had to visit my kids. I didn't have any money. I said, God, how and all of a sudden I saw on the road there was some guy selling popcorn. I bought 500. It was 1,000.
Children love
walked
popcorn.
to school and I said, I have come with popcorn, but I have come to see you. How are you? How is school?
Yeah.
Now, any father can do this. And we know we can. And I have seen fathers who can give 1,000,000 shillings to the mother to go and do shopping. And for them, they don't go to visit the children. So this is a wake-up call to all the fathers out there. Let us be in our children's lives.
All the time at home.
If bathing a child is not a low-class job, you are bathing the president.
Yes.
You are bathing the Speaker of Parliament.
The future,
you are bathing a TV manager.
Yeah.
You are bathing a radio presenter.
Yeah.
You are bathing an MP.
Yeah.
That's your child. So you can't say that's the work of a maid.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
That's your work.
Yeah.
The maid can help you once in a while when you're not there. But when you are there, you can bathe that child.
Yeah.
When the mother gives him a breast, you can also pick the bottle no gamba afternoon. And I've always told fathers, watch these kids when their mothers are breastfeeding them.
Copy.
You see
how
the child, how he's looking at the mother, and the mother's looking at the child, and you can see them talking. Yes, I am your mother. Yes, I am your daughter. I am your son. Hey, no word is exchanged, but there's a lot of communication happening through the eye contact. How dare you allow to miss that as a father? You understand? When you see the baby kicking inside the mother's womb, as a father, that's your moment to touch where the baby is kicking, and speak to that child. That child must leave her mother's womb when she knows your voice.
My sheep know my voice.
You understand? Don't sometimes you put on no. Start being a father from that time. And be in that child's life and speak to that child and play with that child. By the time the child comes out, you have already played with that child when he's still inside. Pray for that child when he's still inside. Pray. Speak whatever you want to see in this child's life when they come out. Before they even come out. There's no way that child, even if they can go, the world can be challenging, they will go into drugs, they will go into what, but eventually that seed, because the word of God, every word that comes out of our mouth as parent, it is seed. Eventually, just like you would plant a bean and no one sees what is there, after some time, that bean will come out. So every word you speak into the life of your child, whether that child is still in her mother's womb, that seed one day, it will show up. And we will see. That's why today we see people serving God and doing things, and then we wonder, how do they do it? Someone paid the price. Some people, maybe those people who don't know that. That's why even today we have now spiritual fathers who are now taking the place that fathers would have done, but they are also doing what they have to do, and we are speaking to people's lives, and we are blessing children, and we are speaking prosperity, wisdom, knowledge. Everything we want to see in those children. And that's why today people are calling us fathers. Daddy, my father. They're not talking about biblical father. We are talking about, and by the way, the biggest and the most important fatherhood is spiritual, not necessarily biological. And that's why I speak to every man out there. You have no right to deny any child that child is not mine. It doesn't matter that he's not yours biologically. He's still your child.
You have to take care of them.
There is no way, there is no man who has a right to deny a child to be their father.
Any child.
And if a child wants to call you father, allow them to call you father. Sometimes that's all they want. It is this poverty mentality that makes us see us as school fees. Allow them. There are so many people, men and women, who have come and say, "Can I call you father?" I say, "Yes, you can."
Yeah.
Why? Because fatherhood is ordained by God. Every human being down on earth needs someone to call a father, needs someone whom they can call as mother.
Pastor Henry is really passionate about fatherhood, clearly. But last question, I think, for me would be an altar place is wonderful. How do we build it? How do we start it? And then we'll close it.
Building a family
altar time, yes. Family altar, yes.
Is a very, it will need much time, but let me break it down very quickly.
Yeah, because you said that's where children learn to be godly.
Yes.
So how
that's one of the places.
Yes.
How
do we build it? Yeah.
Building a family altar.
Yeah.
First of all, the father must know that he's the spiritual head of the family.
Yeah.
And so it's important if he can be available.
Yeah. Okay.
Or the mother, if the mother is available. It will be important if both of them can be available. Now, the building a family altar is you gather as a family, and then you start slowly by slowly. You pray.
Okay.
You read the Bible, the word. You worship. I'm not saying them in their order. You can choose whichever.
You can start with reading.
Sometimes what is confusing us so many times when we come to God is now the order. Even when we go to church. If you go to church at 8 when the service is starting and you find the pastor on the pulpit preaching, it would have been fasting, worship, intercession. So I'm not putting them in their order because it's not about order. Have you done them? Okay. So you can worship, sing a song,
pray, and read the Bible.
Read a chapter. Or depending on the time you have, and then allowing people to share what they have
learned.
Whatever maybe they comes to their mind. There are those who say, "I don't see anything." But when you allow that time also, you will see
that people eventually they are picking.
And you realize that you're not the only one who has a vision about God's word. You will see kids reading the chapter and they say, "Me, I see God," and I say, "Oh my God, how?
I haven't yet seen it like that."
That way.
Yeah.
You understand? And make sure all family members, including maids if you have, don't close maids away from this altar. Every household member gathers. And then you read, you share. And there could also be a moment of waiting on God on what He might say to you. Moment listening. Of quieting, of silence, and then, and then having prayer items you want to pray for. There's nothing that builds a family altar when you pray for things and then you start seeing them happening.
Even it's okay. So now you're even inventing something. Write a checklist. The things you pray for, if it happens, you tick off.
You might not even tick off because again, that's going to take us into religion.
Okay.
But there's nothing which will now, because it will start when people don't want it. But as they start seeing, we prayed for so and so,
and it's happening. Yes.
You'll even start seeing people who just only come to bring their prayer. They don't want to pray, but they know that the prayer.
Prayer works.
Because it works.
They have a testimony of
and
the
let
altar.
me tell you, God cannot fail to show up on a family altar. And people have always been asking, how did families in Uganda go through COVID time during lockdown? Many families were praying.
I did pray at my home.
God showed up in those families. We didn't register a family which starved to death.
Nothing.
We didn't register a family which starved or which died, and the whole family. I mean, God showed up. Even when they were not really systematic, that they are praying for 2 hours, but gathering and saying, we saw God providing for families. We saw strangers bringing food to families whom they don't know. Now you think you are too kind to take food so and so. What you don't know.
But God is providing.
God is providing. You understand? So sit on the family altar, pray, worship, read the Bible, share scripture, worship, and make it routine. Know that every day, between this time,
and this time we're gathering,
and we meet, and then we share.
Wonderful. I think my greatest lesson out of this conversation is when you're taking care of a child, you're taking care of the future president, the future minister, the future someone. Take care of them. They need you. Thanks so much for watching the Family Talk Show. Pastor Wangale, thank you so much. I've enjoyed this time. Of course, we'll have him next time, probably on Ensonga Extra. So keep your eyes here on Family TV. It's been the Family Talk Show. My name is John Nkore on Family TV, enriching lives.